The markets closed down over the weekend, but it's not a federal holiday. So you guys still have to work on the Friday and the Monday? Well, in Australia, it is a public holiday today and on Monday. And is Sunday Mrs. Ping, is Sunday a public holiday too? Or is Sunday the public holiday and we get the Monday because it falls on a Sunday? Whatever way, it's like a long weekend. We get like a 4-day holiday over Easter. So the Good Friday to Monday, everyone mostly heads back on the Tuesday. But I heard that in America, you guys don't you guys don't have a public holiday, a federal holiday for Easter. And I thought that was really strange. I was like, for a country that seems to be built on Jesus and the Bible, to not celebrate Easter is odd, and to not have it be a federal holiday is a bit strange. Give me a sec. I turned on my camera to I turned on the show a little early. Hold on. All right. Sorry, I was actually trying to get some food in because everyone complains. They're like, "Ping, we can hear your stomach," and I'm like, all right. I'll eat before I come on." Joe Neal. Hey, Joe. How are you? Kathy Lynch is here. Mamma Mia. Laura T. Marilyn Landis is here. Gayla's here. Other people are here. Lynn D made it. Hey, my friend. Rachel's here. Laura T. I hate mornings. All right. So Trish finished early today, did she? Okay. Well, she probably wants to go abduct another gorilla because, it's Easter weekend. She has to go hide Easter eggs and then, I don't know, make people find the gorilla. I don't know what she's going to do. Who knows? But I have stories for you. And it is this one. This is the biggest one that is going on right now in Australia. This is one of the most crazy things I think I've read. Like, we've read a lot of underworld type killings, hitman type things, people being like killed or shot in public. We've done a lot of it, right? But not like this. This is insane. So last night, according to the papers, they said a woman was abducted from her home about 10:30 p.m. last night, bundled into the back of a car, and then they later found the car burnt out with her body inside, completely on fire, and her burnt remains were found in the back of the vehicle. I don't think I've ever heard of something like that going on in Australia. Like, I've heard of women being killed by underworld type things before, but not being abducted out of their home. While she was being abducted out of her home, they also stripped her of her clothing, attacked her 8-year-old boy to the point that he needed surgery, and attacked her husband. He's also in hospital. And then took her, bundled her into this car, and then they found the car a few hours later on fire with her remains in the back. I don't what is going on out there in Sydney? I don't get it. I grew up in Sydney. I'm a Sydney guy. I grew up there like most of my life. I've only lived in Melbourne for about 20 years now, 20. But for the other half of my 20 years on this earth, I grew up in Sydney. So I know the area quite well. And I find this bizarre. I don't know why someone would abduct a woman. Like, say this was some sort of underworld type thing. You would think they would take the husband. I've seen that many times, but to abduct a woman out of the home in front of her children, is bizarre. All right, here I'll play you this little update from 7 News this morning.
Have described simply as horrendous. What we know is around 10:30 last night, 5 men masked and armed with bats and a firearm have assaulted an 8-year-old boy outside an Edward Street home. Police have been told that they have then gone inside and assaulted a 45-year-old woman before kidnapping her and taking her away in a grey SUV. Now, this all played out in front of the boy's 15-year-old brother and the 15-year-old son of the victim that was taken away. He told police of what had happened when they arrived here. Now, tragically, about an hour later, police were called to an address in Beverly Hills where firefighters discovered the body or a body in the backseat of a burnt out car. Now, police have strong suspicions that that is the woman, given that it is a similar SUV to which she was taken away. And now police are wasting no time here. They've launched a strike force. There's detectives knocking on every door in every street, trying to find this gang that has, I guess, moved away from the scene. But we spoke to police earlier. Listen to what they had to say.
I can only imagine what those children went through, an extremely serious, violent, horrendous crime that we are throwing everything that we have at it to ensure that we bring these people to justice.
Now, the 8-year-old boy has undergone surgery overnight. He is now in a stable condition. He is with his 15-year-old brother, who are receiving treatment at the hospital too. The boy's father and the victim's husband was interstate on business. He is understandably on his way back to Sydney to be with his boys and to speak with police. But this is a tragic incident that has unfolded, and tragic news to bring to you on this Good Friday. Tash.
Bill Hogan, thank you.
What the hell? I don't think I've ever seen something this severe. I mean, there was one like a year ago where 2 women were shot in their car, alleged to be an underworld hit job. But to have a break and enter or a home invasion and then take the wife, the only thing I can think of, and I'm not blaming anyone, and I'm not trying to paint anyone as anything that they're not. I'm just kind of spitballing. The only thing I can think of is they were trying to get to the husband, and they thought by taking the wife, it would make the husband do whatever they want. It's the only thing I could come up with, unless there's something else there that because the police said today they're not sure if it's underworld, they're not sure if it's gang related, they're not sure if it's some sort of crime related. They are still investigating. Blaze says, horrible hurting the small child that severely when dad was away. Yeah, sorry, I thought the dad was in the home for a second. No, the dad was away, so the mum was there with the 2 children. Yeah, I don't know why this would happen, except for like the reasons I already gave you. But it says here, a body found in a burnt out car is believed to be that of a 45-year-old woman kidnapped by armed men in a home in Sydney's southwest overnight. They say at 10:30 p.m. On Friday. 10:30 p.m. on Friday. Police responded. What? Hold on, guys. Am I going mental? What day is it today? It's Friday. That can't be correct. It is Friday. Someone is drunk. Someone is drunk at work. There's no way it can be 10:30 p.m. Friday because it's only 2:30 on Friday. I think they mean 10:30 p.m. on Thursday night. Police responded to reports of a kidnapping and went to a home in Bankstown. Officers attached to the Bankstown Police Area Command arrived and were told a group of unknown people had forced their way into the home before kidnapping a 45-year-old woman. 2 boys, aged 8 and 15, known to the woman, were also at the property, and they said during the incident, police were told the kidnappers, who were armed with a firearm, assaulted an 8-year-old boy with a baseball bat before forcing the woman into an SUV. The boy suffered serious head injuries and was treated by paramedics and taken to a hospital, where he has now had surgery for those injuries. There was an article I read here that said the police had gotten some very chilling sort of witness reports from people. And I'm going to try find that article. They were basically saying that the noises they heard come out of the home, they actually thought someone had died by the screaming that had been coming out of the property. They thought they had found someone, dead or something. It was actually the mum screaming for her life. And here, let's go here. Yeah, we know that. Yeah, so this was the vehicle. This was the car they found in Beverly Hills later on, about an hour later, completely burnt out and engulfed. If you see that video from the one we played before, you see that fire. That's that vehicle right there. And they found her remains in the back. Pretty brutal. And on Easter, do these guys ever take a break? I'm guessing no. They say the body's yet to be formally identified, but they strongly believe it is that woman. They say here, we don't know if it's organized crime and we don't know if it's gang related, but they are looking into it. They say the crime is horrendous, the level of violence is unheard of, but I want to reassure the community that we strongly believe that it is a targeted incident and that this is not a random kidnapping. Well, sure. I mean, I don't know if that makes anyone feel any better, that it may have been targeted. Yeah, someone's about to die. Woman kidnapped, child bashed before body found in burnt out car. They say neighbors have described hearing screams as a car speeding past and sirens as the woman was snatched from her home in what police call a horrendous crime. There's another photo of what that vehicle looks like after they towed it away this morning. That is all that's left of that that vehicle where they found her remains. It's just a shell. It is basically gone. They said here neighbors have described hearing screams, and they said I wanted to find the bit where the neighbors had been talking, because one of the neighbors was saying they literally thought someone had died, because they were like, what is this noise coming from our neighbor's property? Here, one woman who lives near the house where the kidnapping took place says she was shaken and afraid when she heard a woman scream shortly after 10 p.m. last night. She said, it sounded like someone was about to die. Isn't that insane? She said, I came outside and I saw a Mercedes speed past. And then it says here, the blazing car was found on Welfare Avenue, about a 10-minute drive from the home in Bankstown. Multiple police cars were parked outside the Bankstown home as forensic officers combed through the scene on Friday morning. There is can we play this?
Also breaking this morning, a major investigation is happening now in Sydney's southwest, where a body has been pulled from a car fire. Emergency crews were called to Welfare Avenue at Beverly Hills around 11:30 last night, where they discovered the vehicle well alight. Police are urging anyone with information to contact Crime Stoppers.
Wow. I did I didn't want to profile anyone. I didn't want to misassociate something, but being that, look, Bankstown does have a heavy population of people from the Middle East. I used to live out that way, but there are other people that live there. I just didn't want to, just say it for the fact, hey, this is obviously Middle Eastern organized crime, but, you have to ask the question. We'll find out. No identity released as of yet, I don't think. I haven't seen one publicly given out. I'm just having a quick look. I don't think I've seen a name given out of this mom in Bankstown. Yeah, I'm just having a quick look to see if there's an update. 3 hours ago. Nope. 2 hours ago. Nope. Yeah, I don't see a name right now. New South Wales Police. Yeah. I'm not seeing any name given to her as of just yet. Past hour. Yeah, let's try this one. This is the latest article. No, I don't know. There's no name yet. Yeah, so we're going to have to wait and find out what that is about. Apparently, this is where the car was dumped and set on fire. That's why you got these photos of a road. That's where that, there you go. You can see the destroyed road because they set it on fire. And there's that overhead footage. So there you go. One of the most brutalized crimes I think I've heard of in a while. Apparently, according to a neighbor, who they heard something when the incident happened. They said there was a bang. He said it sounded like a tree falling. Then there was another bang, so I saw something might be happening. The man also called 000 and went downstairs to investigate. By the time I got down there, the whole thing was ablaze. A car sped off up the street. I couldn't sleep for about 3 hours. When I woke up and heard the news of what happened, I thought, that's effing terrible. This is normally a quiet place. So he was a neighbor outside of where the car was located and set on fire. He's saying that he heard a lot of loud noises, probably the car going up in flames and, things exploding and stuff like that. But right now, no ID of who this family is or who the woman might be. But when I have it, I'll give it to you. Yeah, the one thing I've heard is that they just don't follow the rules anymore. Like there's no like no women and no children. They just don't do that anymore. It's children, women, whoever, they'll do whatever to get the job done and make their point. There is no code of honor or anything like this. They will attack anyone, kill anyone, abduct anyone, to finalize whatever they want to do. Like last year, they shot and killed 2 women in a car. If I show you that one. This was the 15th. That was a couple of years ago.
Hairdresser caught up in Saturday night's brutal execution in Sydney's southwest is being remembered today as a fun-loving, generous person who would do anything for anyone. Let's go live to Bianca Balzer, who is at the scene of the shooting in Panania this afternoon. Bianca, those who knew Amy Hazuri say she was very loved.
Lizzie, they do, and they are absolutely rattled to know that she has been killed. It all happened right here when she was in the backseat of a car with Lametta Fadlala getting ready for a night out when they were ambushed. Their killers are on the run. The motive for their death is unknown. What we do know so far, though, is Lametta was known to police. She had links to the criminal underworld through her ex-husband and ex-boyfriend. Amy, however, had no links to criminal groups. She was a hairdresser and simply here to help her friend get ready for a night out. Those close to Amy say that she was simply in the wrong place at the wrong time. Nine News has talked to her brother-in-law. Take a listen.
She was like hard work, a good lady, and as well like.
So that one happened a couple of years ago, a few years ago now, where they shot these 2 women sitting in a car. That one was believed to be one of the women, at least, was connected to organized crime. What these people are today, don't know. I don't have that information. Neither do police, according to the article. They don't know whether it's a gang thing. It's a Middle Eastern organized crime or other organized crime, syndicates. There is quite a lot of them. This is not the only one. There is several throughout Sydney. They often fight with each other, and they often attack each other's families and kill each other. It happens all the time. I think since the start of the pandemic back in 2019, I think at least, at least 20-something murders had been carried out between these 2 separate families in Sydney. And I think like half of them are either dead or in jail. Like they've basically been whittled down, and there's not that many of them. Dead in jail or ran away overseas. So they've left the country to escape prosecution. 18, is it? Yeah, it was something like that. Around 20, but a lot more than Sydney's seen in a while. So, yeah, they are vicious. I don't think they care. I don't think there's any loyalty. I don't think there's any honor. I don't think there's anything. They just want to get the job done. Wendy R says, will these guys exterminate each other? Often. often, always, always. Horrendous. Yeah, this one's just particularly bad because it was a woman home alone with her children, and the fact that she was taken out of her home, killed, and her 2 children just left in the home, one with a serious injury. You have to ask, like, what the hell is going on? And why did these people, whoever these people are that killed her, obviously now murderers, why did they feel the need to break into this woman's home and do this? Like, what is the motive behind it? Yeah. I don't know. Who said there was anything wrong with your comment? Are you talking to yourself? Do you have Alzheimer's? Isn't someone here in Maryland? Maryland in America, or Maryland's in that's so there's a suburb in Sydney called Marylands, and it is spelt differently to that. It's spelled Merrylands. It is a different suburb to Maryland in America, which is a state. So Marylands is actually where I grew up. I grew up there. It's like Granville, Guildford, Marylands, Para. My memory's a little blank, but it's something like that. Guildford, Marylands, Guildford South. Yeah, just all those areas. So I actually grew up around there. So yeah. But it's a different place. Maryland's in Sydney is in the western suburbs. Yeah. It is very different from when I lived there. It doesn't look like what I remember. When I lived out here, it was very different. So this is Maryland's out here. And it's very close to Parramatta. So Parramatta's right here. Westmead, North Para, Harris Park, Granville, Holroyd, and Guildford down here, Guildford West. Yeah, Villawood. So I actually grew up in Granville over here. And I went to school just up here. I won't show you exactly where, but somewhere just up here, near South Wentworth and sort of at the top of Maryland, somewhere up here. And I went to high school somewhere up here, somewhere just around here. I went, and so I grew up, and I lived out in where is it? Harris Park. I lived in Harris Park for many years. So I know that, and I lived in North Parramatta for about 5 years too. So I've lived all over this area for a long time, and it is one I know. But look, the place that we were talking about is down here, Bankstown. This is Bankstown in Sydney. It's a little further southwest than those suburbs, but these two used to be very different. Yagoona, Bankstown, Greenacre used to sort of all be in the one thing, and it didn't sort of stretch this far up. But over the years, Auburn used to be a big one. Lidcombe, it's sort of progressed further west as the housing prices have increased, and now Marylands and all this area are sort of very much like what this area used to be like. So it's sort of spread. Although Granville always had a Middle Eastern community. Even I remember as a kid coming down here, down near the station down here. Actually, there was a big train crash here many years ago called the Granville disaster. If you want to look that up, I used to come down here. It looks very different these days from when I was a little kid. But there used to be a row of shops near the station, and there was always Middle Eastern food and, selling hot nuts and things. So when I was a kid, that's very much what it was like. But yeah, where we're talking about is a little further south down here. You got Bankstown, Lakemba, Roselands, Revesby, and yeah, all these type of areas. So a little further south than Marylands. Not Maryland like in the USA, spelt very differently. The profile says the reason why it is a gangland is because of the car fire. I don't know if the car fire thing is necessarily a calling card of organized crime as such anymore. It is, but a lot of copycat people know about it now. A lot of copycat people know that you need to have 2 or more cars to commit a successful drive-by shooting, hit, murder, whatever. You need to have 3 clean cars. So don't know if it's fully that anymore, but it is. All right, well, have fun with that. Yeah, I hope you're recovering, buddy. Hope you're recovering. Yeah, so that's your story out of today. Why am I on the air? That was weird. I don't have too much more than that. I wish I did, but police will probably give another update tomorrow, is what I'm guessing. If they can ID that woman, tell her next of kin, get her kids to a safe location, I would say then we'll find out the name. It could be later today, but I'd say by tomorrow. Let's see. Body better car. Yeah, basically the same article. I don't see any new. Yeah, 45-year-old Bankstown woman. I'll just check one other place. I just wanted to see if the daily here. This is from New South Wales police. They say an investigation has been launched after a body was located in a burnt-out car following a kidnapping in Sydney's southwest overnight. What do they say here? During the incident, police were told the kidnappers, who were armed with a firearm, assaulted an 8-year-old boy with a baseball bat before forcing the woman into an SUV. I heard she was also stripped of her clothing before she was put into the SUV, which I find very strange. I don't know why you would do that. Is that just a like a humiliation thing for a woman? I don't quite understand that. It wouldn't be for ID because they're going to burn you anyway. I don't really get that. Sounds to me it was like a humiliation type thing in front of her children and that. The boy was treated by New South Wales ambulance, and they have here a crime scene was established at both locations, and officers from Bankstown Police Area Command, with the assistance of detectives attached to the State Crime Command's Homicide Squad and Campsie Police Area Command, commenced Strike Force Bushfield to investigate the incident. So they've opened up a strike force, which means it has a name, and they're going to do their investigation under this umbrella. So any other entities that are brought in will be brought in under Strike Force Bushfield. Where the names come from, I heard they're generated on the system. So you often get some pretty weird names. Sometimes they relate to the crime, sometimes they don't. But yeah, they just generate a name. Let's see. I really don't have too much more about it, unfortunately, but horrific crime, especially right on Easter weekend, especially on this long weekend to attack a family when it's supposed to be a time of together and, hang out with your family and spend time together. To attack them is brutal. Here's that fire. If you can see it on your screen, that is that car ablaze that they say had her body in the back. If you can see that on your screens, that is the fire raging there in the street. I can't imagine. I hope she wasn't alive at that point. I really hope they didn't burn her to death. Like, that is a really horrific death. You would hope it was merciful, and if they had to commit murder, then it was quick. Because I can't imagine being in that fire. That would have been just a very painful way to go. Very painful. Earthkeeper said they possibly knew her husband was going to be away. Yeah, that's where my thing came up, that maybe I thought they were trying to target him. That they knew he wasn't there to protect the family. That they would go and kill his wife. So is the husband involved in something? Is the wife involved with something? It's very hard to know. Gayla says, might have been one of the bangs they heard. It probably would have been. It probably would have been a petrol tank exploding. Yeah, I hope she wasn't alive at that point, because look at that. That is a raging fire. It really is. Just for a break for 1 second, I'm just gonna check on something. So, we've done it all week, but tonight is the first night of Coachella weekend too. I heard some news from someone that searches for stories for me. So I have someone that helps me. I have a lot of people who help me with stories actually, but I have someone who is close to me that searches news sources to help me. They said that at Coachella tonight, I can't report it as 100% accurate, but there may have been another SA. And I was like, really? You guys just got in like today. Like, you guys all just got through security and got through the line in the last 12 hours. And a girl's already been SA'd again? Come on. Come on, people at Coachella. Have a good time with everyone. Let everyone feel welcome. Don't be attacking women. Like, what are you doing? Why are you being like that? If you're heading to Coachella with the specific intention to victimize and predate on women, I hope all the dudes at the festival see a neon light above your head that says that you're going to do that, and they beat the absolute living crap out of you. You don't deserve to be hanging out with everyone if that's what you're going to do. That is horrific. Friday night, last time I think it was Saturday, so they got to Saturday night before someone was attacked. Now it's freaking Friday, Thursday. What is it? Thursday night. Thursday night, and they're already like, let's attack some women. Ridiculous. James says the great unwashed. They are a little unwashed at Coachella. No, they're not. They have showers now at Coachella. It's Thursday, yeah. So they only just got in, because I know the gates opened at like 3 a.m., 6 a.m., something like that. So they've only been there for today, and someone's already decided it would be a fun idea to attack a woman. Congrats. This is why we can't have nice things. This is why, this is why the world is the way it is today, because of dumbasses like that. The Woman of Steel said the robberies have gone up massively during Coachella. Yeah, we did a story the other day about how a bunch of people got robbed at a hotel. Then I heard that people that were staying in Airbnbs also had their Airbnb broken into and had things taken. So there is a lot of people at Coachella dealing with robberies from last weekend. Hopefully this weekend, since the heat has gone up during the week, hopefully maybe less this weekend. I hope so. But I will keep you updated on the Coachella thing. I don't have any current information. Someone just messaged me saying, here, hold on. I don't know. Someone just messaged me saying that they're waiting on confirmation, that they don't exactly know what is going on. But apparently, like, a bunch of police cars showed up on the camping site, and rumors were going around that it was a R word. We'll see. We'll see, but I truly hope not. I hope everyone got it wrong, that it's just somebody that's really drunk and out of control, and they had to call the PD to come and get them because they're just being a menace. I hope that is what it is, and a girl did not have to go through that. Or a guy, but mostly it seems to be women. Danny says that's the Maryland Coachella. The US Coachella is a S show. A co-ed camping site, what could go wrong? Look, you would think that we're all adults, right? That we're all grown-ups for the most part if you're going to a festival like that. Like, I know underage people do go, but for the most part, you would think the people who had the funds and the money to do this and buy all the tickets, because you have to buy your concert ticket, you have to buy your camping ticket, your parking ticket, like, it costs a fortune. that the only people who could afford to do it are probably people over the age of like 16, 18, because they have jobs and they credit cards and things like that, or very rich parents. I just figured, aren't we all adults where we can just have a fun time? Apparently not. Apparently not. Families go. I heard there was some children at the festival last weekend, and people were saying that it might sort of be like child abuse, because you're taking like little toddlers to a festival and it's freaking hot, it's loud, it's dusty. The kids can't like say no because they're there with their parents. So yeah, so there you go. Retardo says, I know that happened at the Burning Man festival. Where was this? Yeah. Where's Marlene? Was told last year when they were stuck in the mud getting out of. Was it last year when they were stuck in the mud getting out after Coachella? I don't think anyone was stuck in the mud last year. I don't remember that. There were. I think it was Burning Man. I think Burning Man. There was a unexpected rainfall that happened and basically flooded the area where Burning Man takes place, and they were like, it was like a tsunami out there. There was like mud up to people's thighs, and it was really bad. I think that was last year or a couple of years ago. It's a Renaissance festival with music. I don't know about that. I think Burning Man might be a little like that, but I don't think Coachella is like that. But yeah, that happened a couple of years ago, I think. They had like a giant rainfall. All right, let's keep going, my friends. Yeah, I know a lot of people have been. I just got 3 emails from people in the chat saying, "Are you going to talk about the shooting?" Like, I feel like you guys know everything. What would I tell you about the shooting today that you guys already don't know? You guys all know that there was a shooting at FSU in Florida, in Tallahassee, right? And we all know who it is. We know who the guy is. Son of his mother is a sheriff. We know all this. What shooting? You guys, you don't know about the FSU shooting? All right, fine. Fine. How did you miss that one? This one was all over the news this morning when I woke up. When I woke up, there was press conferences and giant live streams and stuff like that. It was bonkers. Hold on, let me go up here. All right, let me take you to NBC News on YouTube.
Bring in now Reed Seabold, an FSU senior who was there when this shooting happened. Reed, thank you very much for joining us at the end of what I'm sure has been a nightmare of a day for you, of course. Glad you're okay, at least physically. Can you tell us where you were when this shooting began?
For sure. So I was in the Bellamy building, which is catty-cornered to the student union. We all of 90 seconds away.
And what happened?
So 2 people came in talking about a shooter on campus. And so we immediately locked down. We weren't even supposed to be there for class that day, but we had all come in to work on a group project. And so when they came in, we locked down immediately, locked both doors, turned off the lights, got under our desks. And, we had heard some gunshots. We had also heard our door attempted to be opened a number of times. The first one we had initially thought was the shooter when we were in there. But now seeing that he was taken down at the student union, we don't believe it was him.
Do you think it was maybe law enforcement jiggling the handle, perhaps?
Well, the law enforcement, we know that was the second 2 times, but okay. It could have been law enforcement. It could have also been someone trying to flee for safety. We really don't know.
You were locked down in that room for about an hour. What was going through your mind at that point, Reed?
Yes, ma'am. So, I really just didn't know what was happening initially. Originally, I thought it could have been a prank, and then that was quickly disposed. And so I was texting everybody I loved, letting know that I loved them. I was getting ready to die.
Did you hear that? I was getting ready to die. I saw another one from inside a classroom where there's people huddled under their desks, and all of a sudden the door bangs, like someone bangs on the door, and everyone like they must have taken all their willpower not to scream at that time, and they didn't. Luckily it was a law enforcement. It wasn't the shooter. But you can imagine that you would think every time that door handle moved, is this a shooter? Is it a law enforcement? Is it a student? Like, who is it? It's just insane. And then I read another thing earlier that a person that was involved. I'm not sure how they're involved, but they were in the other shooting in Florida a few years ago, that really big one. That they were in a library on campus today at this one, and they're just like, what did I do in my life that this has to happen twice to me in 4 or 5 years? Like, what did I do? Like, they just were like, what the hell? I traveled to a completely different university in a completely different area, and I get trapped in another school shooting. So that poor person, I mean, they just must be like, I'm never living in the house again. I'm just going to live in my house. I ain't going out. I'm going to buy a shark with lasers. I'm going to buy like a giant moat in a castle. That's what I would do. I'd be like, I ain't ever going out again. So the shooter is this Frankenstein looking motherfucker. His name is, what is his name? Phoenix Ickner. That's how I'm going to pronounce it. Phoenix Ickner. He was 20, was shot by police and then taken to hospital after allegedly opening fire at Florida State University on Thursday. The shooting killed two people and left 6 people fighting for their lives in hospital. I don't think I have a further update on those numbers, do I? Hold on. I just want to check if those numbers have changed past hour. Yeah, I still have the same numbers. Two killed in the shooting. A bunch of people. Yeah, still the same numbers. They said here, when reports began circulating that an active shooter was on the FSU campus in Tallahassee, Anne Marie Erickson was one of the countless distressed parents trying to make contact with their loved ones at the school. I can't imagine what that would be like, but she says here, she insists she is the shooter's biological mother. She and Ickner's father had been locked in a bitter legal battle for years prior, and by all accounts, he's largely been raised by his father and Jessica. She fumed on Facebook on a post around 4 p.m. today, minutes before her son was publicly named as the killer. She said, horrible when your alienating son's dad is as mentally unstable as he is, along with his LCSO cop wife, that they can't respond when you write to ask if everything is all right with my son, who studies at FSU. Little did she know it was her son that was the shooter. That's a very telling post, right? Very telling. Let's see. Had to be traumatic for all, especially for, like, I can't imagine what it's like for her as well. Oh, really? There was a woman who survived the Titanic and was later on another ship that sunk, and she survived that as well. I'd just be like, I'm never going sailing again. I'm just going to stay on land. Apparently, ships hate me. I ain't ever going again. Yeah, so it's very sad. When is this ever going to end? Why do people think this is a great idea? One of the weird things I heard is that he was on like the student body and the local, like, Young Citizens Bureau and stuff like that, like kind of like authority for young people in the community. I was like, what would drive someone to do that? I thought it might be something to do with the family, but seems odd to go to school and kill two people and injure another 6 people. It's a little odd. Let's see down here. They're saying by this stage her son's name was formally linked to the horrifying rampage, and his picture had been shared all over media and social media. She replied no shortly before deleting the post entirely if it was her son. So she tried to say no, and then she went, "Oh, it is." What else do they say? They say lengthy court documents obtained by Daily Mail suggest the incident was one of many bitter custody battles during Phoenix's youth. They say in one instance, the court ordered that the biological mother, could have no longer contact with her son, her son's father, or his wife. What the hell? They say Jessica Ilkner, whose weapon was used in the deadly school attack. So they've been through this crazy court battle where people have been denied custody of the son. It sounds like a mess. She was ordered to have no contact with Ilkner's school. Ilkner, I don't know. No contact with Phoenix's school, teacher, doctors, counselors, or summer camp programs, and was told to begin restitution payments totaling $31,000. Geez, the courts are brutal. Here's a post by her, Anne Marie. She says, "My son turns 20 tomorrow. It's funny to think back 20 years ago to when I was pregnant and in bed rest, preparing for the big day in so many ways. I don't know if it feels so wonderful today. Probably feels horrific." Here's Jessica and her husband Chris, who raised him apparently and refer to him as their son. It was her firearm, Jessica's firearm, that he used today. From what I heard, it was a service firearm that had been made redundant. So they had got a newer type of firearm, and this one was an old one that she had kept. So, oh, is this a video? Are we allowed to play this? Well, we're gonna find out. What? Oh, it's the guy with the firearm firing. Okay. Jeez. Well, I don't know what you do if you are any 3 of these parents, you know, the biological mother, his stepmom, and the dad. I mean, now you all know that it was your son. Where do you go from here? Mrs. Ping was talking about this earlier. She was saying that this lady here, Jessica, she was saying to me, she's like, "Do you think that she could ever go back to work as a sheriff again?" And I was like, you know what? I don't know. I'm not sure if she ever could. Do you think that she could ever go serve her community again? Do you think, one, they might take any sort of action against her because it was her firearm that was used in the shooting? But 2, do you think she'd be able to face the public ever again to serve them in her role? Mrs. Ping says no, and I have to sort of agree with her. I think she would have no choice but to relinquish her role as a sheriff. I don't know how you continue. You would draw so much negativity to the agency. You would also become sort of like a circus show, and I don't know how you would do your job effectively in that way. I Hate Morning says, I'm sure she will be fired. A deputy. Sorry, thank you, Mr. Danier. Whatever it's called. You guys have too many different police departments. We just call them cops. We only have one. We have cops, AFP, and ASIO. That's it. And they just go up in rank. That's it. You guys have sheriffs and police and this department, and you guys have too many departments. Lord, he says, good question, Mrs. Ping. Maybe a desk position. If she wanted to stay, I think that's the only way. It would have to be something out of the public sight. There's one sheriff. Yeah, sorry. She works for the sheriff's office. There you go. She's a deputy to the sheriff. Thank you. Marlene says, yeah, I know that one. She's a deputy. Yeah, deputized. There you go. Carolina says, has the shooter given a reason, motive? I don't think I've seen anything. I know that it's my show, so everyone's like, tell us, but I don't think I've seen a reason as such. I'm just having a quick look. I don't see anything. I don't see anything like a manifesto or like some sort of posts related to it. I'm just having a quick look. What do we know? No, I don't want that. Past. I just want to have a quick look here. Yeah, I don't really see anything, but they say here that Phoenix was armed with a former service revolver of his mother's, a deputy who had worked at the Leon County Sheriff's. We've actually done a lot of stories out of Leon County before. So she worked at the Leon County Sheriff's Office for 18 years and was allowed to keep that gun for personal use. There will be an investigation into how he had control of that firearm. They said officials said that the gunman identified as Phoenix was armed with that revolver. Yep. They say Phoenix had been involved in training programs at the sheriff's office and was a member of its youth advisory committee. The sheriff Walter McNeil told reporters he had been steeped in Leon County Sheriff's Office family. It's not a surprise to us that he had access to weapons. Okay, I get it. They say that Chief Lawrence E. Revel of the Tallahassee PD said that Phoenix also had a shotgun with him, but the chief said he was not sure that the gun was used to shoot anyone in the attack. The two people killed in the shooting were not students. Law enforcement officials said they had not been identified as of Thursday evening. They say Phoenix was shot and wounded by responding officers after he did not obey their commands. The chief said he believed that he acted alone. There is no further threat to our community. And he added that Phoenix had invoked his right not to speak to us. Well, I mean, we always tell you don't talk to cops, but we just mean for me and you. We don't mean for like the bad guys. We want them to talk to the police. Just not for us. We don't talk to the cops. This guy should. They say the shooting occurred shortly before noon, sending students and staff to seek cover on a warm and sunny day in Tallahassee. No motive as of yet. Just that he's a current student, and that's a little bit of background about who his mum is and what he's been involved in. So apparently he's in hospital and he's probably under heavy police guard right now too. They say few details about the gunman emerged in the immediate aftermath of the shooting. Calls to his family and friends on Thursday mostly went unanswered. The man accused of shooting graduate in 2022. The man accused of the shooting, there should be a comma here, graduated in 2022 from Lincoln High School, a public school in Tallahassee. He was a member of the Leon County Sheriff's Office Youth Advisory Council 2021 to 2022. According to the sheriff's website, the program is an opportunity for members to help address issues facing young people in the community. Eligible students must be a rising sophomore, junior, or senior at a high school in Leon County, have limited unexcused absences, and a minimum grade point average of 2.0. Interesting. They say here Jacob West, 18, was part of the same youth advisory council with the suspect. Mr. West said he was shocked to hear the suspect's name on the news and double-checked his phone to confirm it was the same person. He described the man accused as always in good spirits, helpful, and always proposing really good ideas to help the county. And this guy says, to hear what has happened was absolutely just heartbreaking. So why did he do it? That would be yeah, I would just like to know why did he do like what could he gain from doing this at the university? Attention? Is that what it is? Is it from is it something to do with his family feuding? I really don't know. Yeah, I'm gonna take you if you haven't seen this of it, if we can watch it.
Of the student union building. FSU police responded immediately, engaged, neutralized, and apprehended the shooter. 2 victims of deceased are deceased, and 5 individuals have been transported to a local hospital with gunshot wounds. The shooter has also been transported to a local hospital. The 2 deceased are not students. The shooter is believed to be a current FSU student. I do not have additional information on the shooter's identity at this time. Students who need assistance can go to the Donald L. Tucker Center, where the university is providing counseling, healthcare, and other support services. Family members are also able to go to the Tucker Center for assistance. Students, faculty, and staff are asked to call their loved ones as soon as possible to update them on their status. The student union and the surrounding area is still considered an active crime scene. Individuals should avoid the area. Students should not return to the student union to retrieve personal property at this time.
Look, that's all I'm going to play of it. I think everyone's seen enough coverage today. But I can tell you here that the lead surgeon at Tallahassee Memorial Healthcare, called Dr. Brett Howard, said that all surgeries took place without incident. He said there are some internal injuries, but able to be managed easily and very stable. No real concerns, honestly, throughout the procedures, so we're very thankful that they went without any issues. He said all patients are in good spirits and doing well. Well, that is a little tiny bit of good news. I'm happy to hear that all the people that ended up in hospital are doing okay. Very scary day for them. It's going to change their lives, unfortunately. But I'm glad to hear that they're not dead, except for the 2 people that are dead. Teachers need to be fully armed. Yeah, I don't know if I would agree with that. Is there any other solution we can think of? Like, a lot of things in life can be dealt with preventative care, right? We like to fix problems before they happen. So is there any kind of things we could do instead of be like, all right, when you go to a school and you become a student, you pick up your class guide at the front desk and you pick up your firearm. You must have it on you at all times with your class ID. You know, it's a very dangerous world out there. Everyone must carry their school-issued firearm with them. I just think, is that where we're going to go? Is there any other way we could do this? You know, banning them on campus hasn't really helped. People just go, oh, there's a ban? Oh, okay. Maybe I'll just continue to walk. Who's going to stop me? You know, I just don't know what could be done. It's your country. It's America's country, not my country. It's up to you guys to figure it out. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that what we do here is any better. I'm just going to say that you all as American citizens got to come together and work together and figure it out. Bipartisan, you know, support with each other and come to some realizations and solutions and things like that, and do what's best for the country. Other than that, I mean, I tell you something about Australia. The bad guys still have weapons here, so I don't know. You might have to come up with a different solution than Australia. Although we don't have very many school shootings, but I tell you that the bad guys still have weapons 100%. Like that woman last night, they had a gun. Yeah. During the incident, police were told the kidnappers who were armed with a firearm. So we may have bans on firearms in Australia, but the bad guys still have weapons. So it's not, the people who don't have weapons, citizens, people, good law-abiding people don't tend to have weapons. That's who don't have them, and they're the ones who tend to get attacked. So there you go. US universities have police departments. Is that for all of them, James? Do they all have yeah, they have like USC has the campus police and things like that. Yeah. I've seen them before. Carolina said gun owners really need to secure their weapons. That'll form part of the investigation into this. Like, how did he have access to that weapon? Even though he is an adult, it's not his weapon. It belonged to his mother. So why did he have any kind of free reign over the access to that weapon? I will see. I'm not sure why he did. Rachel said, I'm not sure how I feel, but a lockbox in a few locations with trained staff is a thought. People need better access to mental health care services. Yeah, that's true. Retired Aaron said, I taught at a small college and no campus police. I think the big colleges have it, right? Like UCLA, USC, this place, which is FSU. Any of those big colleges would probably have a campus campus police or campus security. Any of those giant ones. Better mental health is the key. Yeah. I think so. A lot of people try and outlay what Australia has done on America, and I don't think it's doable. I think when you have such an ingrained gun culture like you do in the USA, trying to bring in something like Australia or New Zealand, I almost think it's impossible, because you would have to somehow regulate all these people when there is, what is the statistic? Like there's like 3 firearms for like every person in America. You would somehow have to over-regulate that to make that a thing. It's just not possible at this point, I don't think. I think you would really have to. I don't know. You'd have a lot of problems, I think. I think you'd have riots and people saying you're taking their rights away and just things like that. It would just be a mess. I just don't know how you would institute that. It'd be very difficult. Rachel said it's a mental health issue. The NRA. I hear Morning says yes, it won't work. Yeah, I just think the problem's so ingrained that you guys will have to look at different solutions to the problem. It's when it happened in Australia, I think the demographic that owned a lot of firearms was a completely different demographic to what is happening in America. A lot of the people that own firearms were people in the country areas, so like farmers and although there were city people that owned firearms too, but a lot of them were like country people that lived in the rural areas, and they didn't want it. But there was huge like protests here. If you guys have never heard that, they were threatening to kill the prime minister, and if you've never seen this, you guys will have to see it. Hold on. Let's see if I can find some of the images. Like they threatened to kill like John Howard. Was it John? Yeah, it was John Howard. They threatened to kill him. Seriously. Yeah. Like here's a little bit of like the old. Yeah, go away, John Howard. Here's a thing where he spoke to the people back in the 90s. A lot of people who were against.
There are more guns in Australia.
Away. This was probably at the massacre in Tasmania. Here you go. This was a guy protesting back in the 90s in Australia. What does he say? He says, gun culture safer than Canberra. Oh, I can't say that word. That's very derogatory to gay people, but some very bad word about gay people culture. Only wussies hand in guns. Howard is selling, I'm not buying. And yeah, so there was these huge things. So they even, yeah, here's another one. So this was some of the protests that happened back in the early 90s in Australia, where they were going to do a gun buyback scheme to take away weapons from the community. When we had Port Arthur in the 90s, that accelerated and allowed for an appetite for gun control in Parliament. And because back then there was a real divide in Parliament. Half of them wanted to bring in the gun control, half of them didn't want to do it. They thought that it should be up to the people to, if you want a gun, you can have a gun. If you don't want a gun, you don't have to have one. So there was a real divide. But when Port Arthur happened, and it was like one of the biggest massacres that has ever happened here, the appetite for bipartisan accepting of some sort of gun control and gun buyback was a lot more palatable to the politicians on both sides. So it ended up getting pushed through very quickly, and we are where we are today. But I think if you tried this in the USA, you would literally have a war on your hands. You would have like civil war. I just don't think it would happen. I think you guys have got to look at different solutions to fixing this. But yeah, just a little insight into what happened back when it happened here. Yeah, it was really, really brutal. And then they say here, how much would $500 million have saved if spent on medical research? So that was the number, I think, they put aside to buy back all the weapons. So it was $500 million that they put aside to buy back weapons from the community. And they said, would you save more children if you spent it on medical research like cancer? Maybe. They said here another large part of the plan was the $500 million National Firearms Buyback Program held between October 1996 and September 1997. 650,000 guns were returned and destroyed by the government. In order to fund the program, the government increased the Medicare levy from 1.5% to 1.7%. So Medicare levy is a tax you pay at tax time for access to Medicare. It says it took Port Arthur to create the burning bridge for governments to act. The bipartisan support among Labor, Liberal, and even the Nationals Party also helped push through the legislation through Parliament. So yeah, this was really crazy. This is America. This is Uvalde when they had that shooting over there. So yeah, that's just what happened here. I don't think it's the right thing fully for America. I think there could be other changes. Here's a guy. Here you go. These are all the firearms that got bought back from the community after Port Arthur. That's a pile of guns. But yeah, they threatened to kill that. They threatened to kill Howard. They had like little mascots, and they burnt it, and like we're going to shoot this guy, and he had to walk around with like a bulletproof vest and security like for years. I don't know how long it was, but it was at least a few years until that calmed down. So that's what happened here, just for people to get an insight. Joe Neal said, not if a teacher is pointing a rifle at students at all times. Well, they'll be very good students, won't they? Wendy R said, bad guys are never disarmed. I agree with you. I'm saying, like, you look at that story last night, they had a gun. I doubt it's registered. I doubt that it's some legal firearm. It probably comes either stolen from the black market, or it's a ghost gun, like homemade, or an 80% kit, a 70% kit, something like that. So yeah, you have to ask the question. But they will not let people have mace. Yeah, we're not allowed to have pepper spray here. Women cannot carry pepper spray. So the criminals can have a gun, mace. They can have a shark with lasers if they want, but a law-abiding citizen can't have anything to protect themselves except for a mobile phone with a 000 to say, come and help me from the guy with the shark with the lasers and the pepper spray and the firearm. Danny Mitchell said Joe knows more competent teachers than I've ever met. He seems to. I Hate Morning says mental health care after school programs for kids 12 to 18 and put technology in new manufactured ones like fingerprint technology on triggers. I had read something about that they're getting close to that they're getting close to be able to, in The Fifth Element, how he has a gun and it only works if it's his finger. I heard that they are getting somewhat closer to this technology where you won't be able to fire the trigger unless it is your authorized fingerprint. I will say I have seen some fingerprint technology be beat with literally a photocopied fingerprint. So don't get your hopes up. It would have to be some sort of like biometrics from like Apple or something. It can't be like the fingerprint scanner you have at work to get in your laptop. They are just not secure. But yeah, there you go. Wendy asks if you use wasp spray, I think the guy would sue you. Maybe. It's possible. I really wanted to find you the Howard burning thing. Hold on. That's not it. I don't think I can see it, unfortunately. Oh yeah, here. Actually, do you guys want to see a photo? So I was telling you before about how John Howard had to wear a bulletproof vest, right? Yeah, I'll show you. So when he was talking to the people who were for owning guns and keeping the firearms, yeah. So he did this speech, and he had to wear this bulletproof vest for years after taking away people's weapons. Where is it? There we go. If it'll upload. So there you go. You can see the bulletproof vest underneath his suit when he was talking to all these people. So there's that sign in the distance. You can see how many children would $500 million have saved if spent on medical research. So there you go. There's him wearing a bulletproof vest. So I don't know what the solution is for America, but what I do say is it's up to the people of America to find that solution together. It's your country. Don't listen to the dickheads in power. It's got nothing to do with them. It's the people in the communities. Work with your neighbors and your town and your people. They're the people that matter. Don't listen to the idiots who get paid $100,000 a year to do stuff. It's the people who live in your places, the people who live in the street over. They're the ones who matter. And it's up to you guys to use your powers to figure this out. So I hope you do. I hope you do, because I would like to see a world one day where we don't have to read out stories about people being killed for going to university or to high school or to middle school, because that is horrific. Teachers should dress like that. I don't know about that. So there you go. Danny Mitchell said the USA booted a Venezuelan gangster and a senator from the US went to retrieve him back. Yeah, wasn't that MS-80 guy that got booted out of Illinois or something? And they took him to Venezuela and put him in the prison. And they're like, no, he's a family man. He is a family guy. We have to go get him back. America needs him. I think I saw that somewhere. Hey, good to see you guys, to the people coming in late. Hey, Greaves, how are you? I meant the name of the gangster. It was MS-13, sorry. MS-80 is is an explosive. It's like a firecracker. I don't know where I got that from. Rachel said, we have good friends who is a high school resource officer, and he's making a difference because he gets to know the kids. Good work, unnamed high school resource officer. Good work. All right, let's move on. See what happens when we talk about school shootings? We get on to John Howard, and ain't no one ever want to speak about John Howard. By the way, he was a terrible prime minister. he sucked. He was in power for so long in Australia. I know a lot of people love him, but I couldn't stand him as a prime minister, and not because of like the party he's with or whatever. I just didn't like him. I didn't like John Howard as a person. He just like when I was young, he seemed like everything wrong with politics. He really did. There he is. We used to call him the frog. So growing up, we used to call him Frogman because he looks like a tawny frogmouth owl. And if you've ever seen one, that's exactly what he looks like. But yeah, he's literally like when you're a child and you go, what's politics? And you go, oh, this guy, like some old white guy with no hair. You're like this guy right here. That like, when you're a child and you ask your parents, Mom, Dad, what's politics? And you're like, yeah, this guy, look at him. That is it. Some old white guy with no hair and looks older than your dad. That's it. Kilgore Garcia, is that the guy? You like John Howard? I was never a fan. I mean, he might have done some good work or whatever, but I just, as a person, I didn't like him. I didn't like him in the way he ran Australia. All right. That's all right. We've got a very beautiful guy that wants to be Prime Minister in a couple of weeks. Have you ever seen him? He is a very beautiful guy. Let me show you. We literally have straight from America. Unfortunately, he may have lost his monocle and top hat, but here, it's Mr. Peanut. Look, it's Mr. Peanut right here. This guy is named Dutton, and he is running to be Australia's next Prime Minister. He literally looks like Mr. Peanut. That's it. He literally looks like that guy from America that sells all the jars of peanuts. He'd be a great spokesperson for that company. He is running for Australian Prime Minister against the other old white guy. Yeah. Peggy Sue, they call him. That's so funny. He's so shiny. He is a little shiny, isn't he? Like a peanut. You could kiss him, like Homer does to the peanut guy, to Hans Moleman. He like kisses him. He's like, Marge, kiss him. He's smooth like a peanut. He's definitely like that. So he could be Australia's next Prime Minister in about a month or so. In about a month or so, Australia is going to do their election. It's either this guy or the other idiot that's in power, Albanese, who's also freaking dreadful. They're both pretty crap. There's no prime minister here that you're like, yes, I think you could run my country and do a great job. Neither of them. They're both just terrible. Actually, that's a really bad photo of Albanese. Got to pay our prime minister some respect and give you a decent photo. There you go. There he is. That's our current prime minister. That's Anthony Albanese, Prime Minister of Australia. They basically look like the same person, just one has hair and one doesn't. It's a duopoly. It is a little bit. Wendy asks if sometimes you want none of the above choices. It is definitely a little bit like that at this election in Australia. It's a little bit like, is there a third option? Do we have someone else, like someone who's not so crap? Is there anyone? Someone want to put up their hand? Does anyone out there want to be Prime Minister of Australia? Anyone? We're waiting. Like, just anyone down the back. It's for you guys as well. You can put up your hand. You can run for Prime Minister. Joniel says, all the gun violence in schools started when desegregation happened. Oh, yeah, that's a great thing. That's what we should do. We'll go back and do that again. I don't think we should do that. What did Sean say? I don't know what Sean said. Oh, he just said hi. Okay. Yeah, that guy really does look like Mr. Peanut, though. Yeah, so if you don't know how it works in Australia, so we have two-party preferred voting here. So you have Labor or Liberal government. That's it. So if you vote for anyone else, like the Greens or the Nationals or anyone like that, the minor parties, they often have deals done where their votes go to their preferred party. So if you vote for the Greens, it'll go to Labor. If you vote for the Nationals, I think it goes to Liberal. Yeah, so if you vote for the Nationals, it goes to Liberal. Yeah, that's it. There is no like choice number 3 or 4. I mean, there is, but they just go to the main parties. So, yeah, it's really a 2-horse race in Australia, and neither of them are that attractive. Carolina says, I raised my hand. I love the kangaroos and koala bears. Unfortunately, I think you need to be an Australian citizen and most likely born here. There's been a lot of people resign from Australian Parliament because they have dual citizenship. So their parents, when they lived here, may have come from different countries like England or something like that. So they have a eligibility to have dual citizen. So they could be citizen of UK and Australia. Those people have actually been they had to get out of Parliament because it doesn't. It's breaks some rule that you can only be a citizen of Australia to be in Parliament. And I think if you want to be Prime Minister, you probably have to be either born here or be a lifelong citizen. I think it's the same in America, though, right? You have to be an American citizen and basically be born there. Yeah, Ping doesn't want the job. I'm good. I mean, maybe in 20 more years I'll run for Parliament, but right now I've got Aaron Patterson to deal with. That's enough. I don't need the world's problems of Australia on my shoulders as well. I've got enough of that. Yeah, I don't think I would like it. Sean said it's not who you want to lead, it's who you don't. I really think, well, I think that in Albanese, it would be way better if they were true blue Labor, like old school 70s, 80s Labor. This new Labor it's basically Liberals minus a little bit of policy. That's what it is. It's basically like Liberals light. So if you don't really want to be the Liberals, you can vote for Labor, which is like Liberals light. It's not the full package, but you can still get 75% of the policies. That's basically what it is. Joe Neal says our president works for Russia. Does he? I didn't know that. I thought he worked for the USA. I don't know. I don't know what he does. I don't really get into politics that much. As you can see, I don't know anything about politics. I don't really know anything. I've never looked at it before in my life. All right, let's keep going. Before this channel turns into a political channel. How do I do it? Yeah, all right, let's move on. Oh, I wanted to see. What? Do you guys want to take a break from this for a second? What the hell? Apparently, deadly blue ring octopus spotted in the Parramatta River for the first time in more than 50 years. It was found at Callan Park in Sydney. Oh my god. Sean, be very careful. I know you live near the Parramatta River. Apparently, blue ring octopus have now gone up the river. Wow, that is the first time in 50 years that blue ring octopus have made it up the Parramatta River. There you go, there he is. Blue ring octopus. These things are so friggin' deadly. They're about this big, and you won't even know that it has bitten you until you start to feel funny. And if you don't realize very quickly what has happened to you, you will die. These things have a crazy neurotoxin that will just shut down your entire organs in about an hour. They are lethal unless you really know what's happened to you. I saw a dude holding one day at the beach, and I was like, no, Mr. German backpacker, I don't think that's a good idea. Yeah. So apparently they are resurging in numbers. So there you go, Sean. You can go down to the Parramatta River and visit a blue ring octopus if you want. Apparently they're back. They're back in pog form. All right, hold on. I wanted to see if they found Jacob Sawyer, who's been on the run. Apparently, no. For like the 5th day in a row, no update about what happened or where he might be. I guess they're just going to pick him up when they can. So if you remember this story from the other day.
New York man still on the run after an alleged stabbing that caused police to ask residents to shelter in place.
28-year-old Jacob Sawyer of Ticonderoga is wanted on a number of charges, including attempted murder, burglary, and criminal weapon possession. Channel 3's Alec Lasham reports from the New York town of Vermont's border.
It's close to home. That stuff don't happen every day.
John Carr says the neighborhood is still reeling after police say 28-year-old Jacob Sawyer attacked a woman with a knife. Police in Ticonderoga say it happened at a house on Park Avenue Sunday afternoon, triggering a manhunt and shelter-in-place order that was called off Monday morning. A slew of businesses and preschools also shut their doors Monday in response to the crime.
They called us this morning and told us not to send them to school because they didn't open it up today.
Authorities say Sawyer faces multiple charges, including attempted second-degree murder. And on Monday afternoon, state police brought search dogs to this house right here behind me, looking for Sawyer. Police say the victim in Sunday's attack is in stable condition and that a multi-town effort is underway to locate Sawyer. Police say there is no reason to believe the public is at risk. Reporting in Ticonderoga, Alec Lasham, Channel 3 News.
Black Creek Police Chief Lowell James is taking one last trip around the village.
It's a hometown. I know.
I don't have anything to say about Earl James except for happy retirement, sir. Have fun. Have fun. But maybe you could have walked around the town. That would have been easier. And then you could have said hello to people. It says here, a New York man is still on the run after an alleged stabbing that caused police to ask residents in Ticonderoga to shelter in place. So they still haven't located Jacob Sawyer, who has a history of attacking this one particular ex-girlfriend. Her name is Emily. I'm not going to give you her last name, but her name, that is her name. He has attacked her several times, including back in January. And then this time, he actually got her in the back of the throat and almost killed her, almost slit her throat open. Luckily, I think she's okay, but this guy has now gone on the run. He's been on the run since the weekend. No update, though. They have not been able to locate him anywhere in the surrounding area. So that is very sad. Yeah, I want to take you out to here, Chair says, yep.
We were dealing with a 6-year-old child.
Emotions running high today as we are finally getting some answers in the death of a little girl.
Harrison County Sheriff Matt Haley says the investigation has ruled out foul play. He says Gracelyn Vick died after getting trapped inside a barrel.
Our Brendan Kirby is joining us in the studio now with the latest on this case that has drawn a lot of attention. Brendan, investigators are calling this a tragic incident.
Yeah, that's right, Lenise and Cameron. The sheriff says that home surveillance video doesn't actually show 6-year-old Gracelyn getting into the barrel, but he says that he's certain, based on what it does show, that that's exactly what happened.
Not necessarily
Harrison County Sheriff Matt Haley answering a question that's haunted the community for almost a week. What happened to Graceland Vick? The 6-year-old girl went missing on Sunday at her home, touching off a search that involved dozens of law enforcement officers and volunteers. Sheriff Haley says Graceland's body was found later that day. She was inside of a barrel about 50 feet from the back door. The sheriff says the barrel lid was shut from the inside. He says the final autopsy report and official cause of death aren't complete, but he used a chilling analogy to describe what he believes she experienced.
Being left in a hot car during the summer, yeah.
Sheriff Haley says the video shows the girl playing in the yard. He says the video shows no one else in the area, and he says the plastic barrel, which is about 48 or 58 gallons, is just out of view.
Only way that the lid could have been in the position that it was in would have been from the inside of the barrel. There would have been no way to put it in that position from the outside of the barrel.
Sheriff Haley says he hopes the news conference puts to rest social media speculation.
We're all human, and I understand in the heat of the moment, a lot of people say a lot of things that I don't think that they necessarily mean. But people put these things out on social media, and it makes it hard for the family to grieve, and it causes a lot of ill feelings amongst one another.
The sheriff says this hits home for him. He says his granddaughter went to school with Graceland.
They were friends, so this is it's been rough on my family and the people that work here.
Sheriff Haley says the investigation remains open. He says the final autopsy report should provide answers to remaining questions, such as the precise cause of death and how long the girl was inside.
Well, that's not the ending to any story you'd like to hear, is it? That little girl, Graceland Vick, discovered in a 58-gallon livestock food barrel about 50 yards or 50 feet, from her family's back door in Saucer. They're saying her death remains undetermined, but they don't believe there's any foul play. Really, really sad. I mean, I guess any of these type of things can hurt a child. I heard of a kid, get this, in Australia, there was a public alert before about, like blinds, like what do they call them? Are they the French Venetian ones like that? A little girl had got it wrapped around her neck while playing in the blinds and was asphyxiated from it. So, little kids can be, they can get into all sorts of trouble and hurt themselves, unfortunately. Yeah, so maybe she fell in like head down and couldn't resurrect herself, like get up the other way. That often that's killed people in the past. They say, according to authorities, it's believed Vick climbed into the barrel while playing in a yard and she became trapped, so probably upside down. Authorities said security video showed no other people entering the property and no foul play is suspected in her death. Let me see if I can find a nice photo of her. I think that's only the fair thing to do. Yeah. This is the one that everyone's been sort of using. Yeah. So there's that lovely little girl. Unfortunately, died a very premature and early death. I think that's not very nice. She closed the lid. That's even worse. So she may not have been able to unlock it from the inside because it's just a food barrel. Maybe it doesn't have a safety latch or anything because they're not expecting anyone to be inside, and it probably ran out of air eventually. That's what happened to JonBenét Ramsey. She hopped inside a food barrel. Yes, I think I read that. I think I saw that in the documentary. Definitely. I definitely saw that in the 50,975 documentaries that have come out on JonBenét Ramsey. I think that's the main theory, isn't it? That she hopped inside a food barrel. Gail says, I am claustrophobic, so that's a no from me. It does sound like a freak accident. Oh, really? Mike Tyson's little girl passed away the same way, got wrapped up in the blinds pull cord. Yeah, there was a little girl in Australia that happened to, and she got choked. She had fallen off a bed or something and somehow landed in the pull rope and couldn't free herself fast enough and ended up choking to death. Very, yeah. So it can happen anyway. Let me see. Gracelyn Vic. I just wanted to see if there was a different thing from it. We can go to WWYNY. What do they say? They say the death of the 6-year-old in Mississippi was a tragic accident. And they're saying that the family last saw her go outside to play and then vanish. They said after a 6-hour search, investigators found her body inside a 58-gallon barrel used for livestock. Officials said heat stress from being trapped in the hot barrel, along with lack of oxygen, caused her death. The sheriff compared it to being in a locked car. Probably makes sense. They said the home surveillance cameras helped piece together what happened to her. Investigators believe there's no foul play. Wow, very sad. That's a cute photo of her. Let's put that up. Well, I wish her family all the best and a lot of prayers, and I'm sorry this happened to them. It's nothing a parent ever wishes to go through, I am sure. Mississippi in a town called Salsa. So you're getting anxious just thinking about it. I don't think anyone would like to be put inside a barrel. I think that would be pretty horrific. All right, let's go here. Okay. Sorry, someone sent me an update about something, but it doesn't apply to what we're talking about. Let's see if we can go to WDSU. Let's go to the NYPD. So we talked about an officer the other night who did this. Now we have another one.
New Orleans police arrest one of its officers accused of stalking his ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend. Yesterday, authorities booked 24-year-old Kaja Ree into the Orleans Justice Center. Investigators say he stalked his ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend since February. Court documents say Rhea began stalking the man after his ex-girlfriend posted a picture of her kissing her new boyfriend on social media on Valentine's Day. Rhea allegedly began to call and follow the victim repeatedly in an NOPD police car. Documents say he also parked outside of a Kenner home where the victim was located this week. Police allege Rhea also challenged the victim to a fight before asking Kenner Hotel staff for the victim's room number. On Monday, police say he also showed up to the victim's workplace, threatening him. His bond has not yet been set. We've reached out to the NOPD for comment.
Black Creek Police Chief Lowell James is taking.
They really want us to watch that video about that sheriff or captain who's retiring. They really want us to watch it. Every video we've played at the end, this guy keeps popping up. They really want us to watch that. Yeah, I know. So he used his powers as a police officer to stalk and harass her new boyfriend. Let go, brother. Let go. Ain't no one care. Find another girl. There are heaps of ladies out there. Some of them probably way hotter than her. So go find a different one. They're saying authorities booked the 24-year-old into the Orleans Justice Center on Wednesday after they say he stalked his ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend since February. They say court records say Ray began stalking the man after his ex-girlfriend posted a picture of her kissing her new boyfriend on social media on Valentine's Day. Yep, that sounds right. They say he began to call and follow the victim repeatedly in his police-issued car. Congratulations on being dumb. They say documents tell us he also parked outside of a Kenner home where the victim was located this week. Police allege he also challenged the victim to a fight before asking the Kenner hotel staff for the victim's room number. When asked for comment on the arrest, the NOPD acknowledged his booking for stalking and said he had been reassigned to administrative duties pending the outcome of both the criminal and internal investigations. So we're probably not going to find out too much more until they get
Wallace
through
police
that.
into
And they
the
won't give us a
Orleans
photo
Justice
either of Mr. Kaja. So let's see if I can find one. Will they give me a photo of Mr. Stalky? Yes, I can give you a photo. I think so. Let me go to this post. Yeah, so apparently this is him right here. Apparently he was on their Facebook page. Here we go. Do you guys want to hear Mr. Stalky Stalkerson talk a little bit? Here we go. 30 seconds. Let's hear from him. The guy who stalks ex-girlfriends and apparently their new partners.
My name is Officer Reed over here in the 6th District of the New Orleans Police Department. I've been with NOPD, if you count academy time, for a year now. I've been on the street since May. I joined the NOPD because as a kid, who doesn't dream of doing something major for this city? And, we always see the news, we always see the tabloids and what's going on in the media. But at the same time, be the change that you want to see. And that's an initiative that I took joining the New Orleans Police Department. If you share the same initiative and the same dreams and aspirations, head to www.joinnopd.org.
So I don't know, do we join that website for tips on stalking ex-girlfriends and their new partner? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Is that what we do? Yeah, there we go. Apparently on the 12th of November 2022, they featured him on their Facebook page, and even after his arrest, they didn't take it down. Very clever. Right. Sean says, I have a female friend who did that. She couldn't help herself. Yeah, I don't think it is a gender thing. I think women do it, men do it. They're all crazy, whoever does it, men and women. They both seem to can't help themselves. There seems to be people in life that don't take rejection very well, and they're just like, hey, I'm going to stalk my ex-partner. Marlene said, I like the corn music. Yeah, it was a little corny, wasn't it? It was a little corny at the end there. It was a little bow chicka wow 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 wow. It was very 70s, very 70s. Don't know why that would be on a police thing. Maybe he's not a real cop. Maybe he's like one of those cops that do the stripogram. Maybe that's why the music at the end. Is that a real police station? I have to check now. Is it really? Let's go. joinnopd.org. Well, it says .org. I don't know any .orgs for strippers. No, it's a real cop shop. It's a real it's a real cop shop. It's fine. There you go. It's a real place. Gayla says, remember the fire person that took her ex-partner? Yeah, went on that weird, she basically abducted him and took him on this weird cross-county, cross-state trip and then killed him. Pretty brutal. Keep stalking him, Ping. I don't know if I have any more. Hold on. Let's see. What was his name? Kaja Ria. Let's see. Is there anything else on here that we can look up? Lives in New Orleans. Is this him? It looks like him. Here he is. That looks like him. It definitely looks like him. This was in 2021. I don't see anything too, interesting on here, but any girlfriends commenting? Let's have a look. Don't see anything that crazy. Don't see anything like too discriminating, incriminating, not discriminating, but this is apparently him. He has over 1,000 friends. 1,000. Yeah, outside the Gime. Outside the Gime. Police Academy 5. I don't know. I'm not sure. Yeah, don't make Ping mad. He'll find your photo. That's right. I will. I will find all of your Facebook. Carolina says if he is, he can kiss his career goodbye. I don't understand why men and women just don't take their L and just move on. I don't get it either. I think there's a lot of, there's a lot of good-looking men and women out there. You can find a different one if you break up with your other one. There you go. I think that's about it. I think we're going to get out of here for the night. You guys, because it's not a public holiday for you, you probably all have to go to work tomorrow. So let's get out of here. Unless you're at Coachella. If you're at Coachella, then you're probably out partying. I'm not hearing any update about that alleged R word. If I hear anything else, yeah, I'm not really seeing any update from my friend. But if I hear more about it by tomorrow, I'll let you know. But people are wondering what is going on over there. Yeah, just people saying cops are out there. All right. So yeah, apparently there's a bunch of cops surrounding a certain area, not letting people through. And apparently word is not getting around about exactly what was going on. Someone said it was an R word. Someone said it might not be true. I'm just double checking. Yeah. Yeah, no update on that one at Coachella. I'll let you know though. By the way, thanks to the people who sent in donations, I was finally able to actually read them, so I'm really appreciative. I want to thank Sean. Thank you for the one from yesterday and today, or today and yesterday. I'm not sure which one. I want to thank my other friend who doesn't want to be named. Thank you very much. And I see your message and I see your email. I'll have to reply to you. I saw it before the show, but we were getting ready to go live, so I couldn't reply. And thank you to Kathy Lynch and my friend Four Sons' mum from yesterday. Thank you, both of you. It's very, very kind. And yeah, the countdown is on. We only have about a week, about 9 days or something, and we're going to be out in Morwell for the trial. So only about a week to go now, not long, only like 8 sleeps to go. Sleep 8 times and we'll be out in Morwell at the Patterson trial. So get ready for that. We don't have much longer. Retirement says, good night all. I need to delete myself from Ping's Facebook page so he can't stalk me. I will. Thank you to the moderators. I appreciate all of you. Gayla, Moonlight View, Tharvy's around, and I'm missing one. Moonlight View, Tharvy, Gayla, Kathy Lynch. Do we have 5 or 4? I can't remember. Thank you to all of them. They all help at different times. It's very, very appreciative. And yeah, have a good Easter. Tomorrow being Easter Saturday for us. And then on Sunday, we have Easter Sunday. So we have a family thing during the day because that's when we normally do like our family lunch and things for Easter on the Sunday, which is Saturday night for you. If it gets over and done with early enough, I will be back and I will come on late Saturday night. If not, the next show after tomorrow's show will be Monday. So it'll be Easter Monday, Easter Sunday for you, but I'll definitely be on tomorrow night for Friday night. So come back tomorrow night. We'll be on for Good Friday for you guys. Who knows? We may even open some Easter eggs from Australia. Muffin can start the show for me. He's hanging out with Mum. Here, hold on. Muffin. Muff. What are you doing? Yawning? Hey. Hey, you want to come see Dad? No? No, he doesn't want to see Dad. He's like, I'm happy over here, Dad. I don't want to go to you. I'm happy being with Mom. Happy yawning. He's yawning right now. He's gone back to sleep. He's like, screw you, Dad. I'm going back to sleep now. He's having an afternoon siesta. So I will see you all then tomorrow night. Have fun. Have a great day out there tomorrow. I'm sorry it's not a public holiday for you guys. That is really weird. I don't understand why it never became a federal holiday for Americans, being that you're such a God-fearing country, which is weird. I thought this would be like the big #1 holiday for all of you, but apparently not. So I will see you tomorrow night for Good Friday. Have a great day at work if you're heading out tomorrow. And if you're in Australia, enjoy your long weekend, your 4-day long weekend. Childhood pics. I don't have any of my childhood pics, unfortunately. I don't even have one. So all my childhood photos are unfortunately gone. I don't have any from when I was a little kid. So unfortunately, I don't have any to show you guys. But I was a little blonde-haired punk when I was little. I had blonde hair when I was a young kid. Unfortunately, it turned dark brown as I got older. All right. I love you all. See you later. Good night.